And the New York Times says a Facebook report shows the social network deleted 865 million posts in the first quarter of this year. Most of them were spam. Facebook also removed 2.5 million pieces of hate speech in the first quarter. Just over a third of it was detected by Facebook's artificial intelligence technology. The rest was flagged by users.
Facebook says this shows that the artificial intelligence programs it wants to monitor the social network are still years away from being effective. The revelation comes amid what Salesforce CEO Marc Benioff calls a crisis of trust in the tech industry. Benioff is the founder and CEO and chairman of cloud computing company Salesforce. Salesforce builds software that connects business with its customers. It has 30,000 employees and more than 150,000 customers worldwide. Marc, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me again. Good to see you.
And thank you for weighing in on our oral test here.
I definitely heard Yanni.
Yes.
I just want to know what it means.
Yes,
right.
But you got young ears, Mr. Benioff.
We all want to know. A crisis of trust.
Well, you can see that our industry is going through a very significant crisis of trust. We've seen it over the last year just with Uber, with Facebook, actually with other companies. And in some ways, you could say Facebook has really become the new cigarettes in our industry. That is, it's a technology that is, yeah, it's addictive. It may not be that great for you, and it might be something that you might want to go back to. So maybe this is a time where the government has to step in and regulate not just that product, but really our industry. We're really at that point with technology. Even Facebook has said it now.
When people talk about regulations, but what do you really mean? I mean, do you want to ban ads that use personal information? Give us some specifics here about what regulation would really mean.
We really need, in this country, a national privacy law. You can see it's going into effect in Europe. It's called GDPR. And that means that in Europe, your data belongs to you. But in the United States, your data belongs to all these companies that are collecting it, and they can do with it basically whatever they want. And that's a shift that we have to make. You can see that's about to happen in California, where I'm from. There is a statewide privacy law that is moving its way to voters. But what we need is a national privacy law. And that will really not just protect the tech industry, it's going to protect all the consumers. Ultimately, it's going to protect our kids, which is really what this is all about. Because look, we know that all these companies are now looking to bring kids into their social networks as well.
Isn't their business model built, though, on selling some of our personal data or marketing it?
It's so rare, too, to follow up on Norah, for somebody in your position to be calling for regulation.
Yeah.
Look, I'm trying to protect our industry. I see the huge advancements that are happening every day in our industry. It's amazing. I mean, you could see what just happened last week with Google Duplex. That was the most amazing AI technology I've seen. It's indistinguishable from a human being when you're talking to it. Many people in the computer industry feel that it passed the Turing test. That means, wow, is that a human or is that a computer? So if we're at that point, we need to start to have better regulation and greater controls. The Europeans understand that. It's time for the Americans to understand that too.
Can I just go back to the national privacy law? What would that do for me? How would that work in practice for me with my personal information?
That would mean that companies would have to fully disclose how they collect your information, use your information, and you'd have a right to be forgotten, so that if you want all your information deleted, you can hit that button and be assured that your data is gone forever.
You are known as an activist CEO. You know, you certainly have critics and supporters, and one of the issues you've taken on is gender equality, which you are loved by women in this country for that, because you've taken this by both hands and say, look, you can't be a CEO really and not take on gender equality.
Well, you're absolutely right, and you know that everywhere I go, I try to bring 25 CEOs together at a time around a dinner table like I did last night with you, and say to them, look, we all have to focus on critical issues that are so important right now, and one of them is gender equality. And gender equality is, number one, equal advancement, equal opportunity, but gender equality also means equal pay, which means that men and women need to be paid the same for the same work, and CEOs need to be held accountable for making sure that they are equally paying men and women. And also, it's about preventing sexual harassment. You can't have gender equality without knowing that you've got psychological safety in your workplace, and that you can work together with equanimity.
You had issues in your own company, though. You walk in and you see a meeting full of white guys, and you just said, hey, what's wrong with this picture? That you're even working to change that at your own company.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, I see that every single day, where And that's how I got involved. I said, how are we going to change? How are we going to improve our work with, for example, women? And that's why we've improved the number of women that we have in our company, but also why we've now spent more than $9 million to balance out our pay scales to make sure that we are paying men and women equally. You know, that's something that every CEO can do with one button. You know, we don't run our business on 3x5 cards.
Right.
You know that, Gayle.
Yes.
We use computers.
Yes.
And
that means we can say, oh, we know exactly how everyone is being paid.
You did that internal audit, essentially, and were surprised by what you found even in your own company. What have other CEOs said to you, perhaps privately, about why they haven't done what you've done?
Well, the vast majority of CEOs are afraid to push that button because you don't really know what's going to come out of the system. And it's a big leap of faith, but it's a leap of faith we all have to make. Yeah. Because, look, we're all trying to improve our workplaces. You know, Salesforce was just awarded the #1 best place to work by Fortune magazine in the world. Yes. Very proud of that.
Yes. Toot toot. Toot toot. Yes.
And, you know, the reason why we were able to get there is, look, it's gender equality is extremely important. All aspects of equality are important. Diversity and inclusion is critical. LGBTQ equality is critical. You know, the last time we were here, I was talking about, you know, what we were doing in Indiana and in Georgia. And you know that even the environment is equality. We talked about that last night, where we've got to be thinking, and CEOs have to take responsibility for their products when it comes to the environment.
But I'll bet there are some CEOs that say, okay, Mr. Benioff, stop talking. We got a business to run here. But I think it's good you're speaking up.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Marc, always a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you.